What is up? Welcome back to Resilience Unplugged, where we get into the raw and the real and the messy side of what it's like to be an ambitious woman working towards becoming her future self daily. Because true resilience is not easy and likely the last thing you're wanting to do, but it's really needed. And around here, we choose our hard, and that means prioritizing our health and our goals so we can become our highest self in the long run. So, it's been a little bit since I made a podcast, and I just wanted to gain more direction with the podcast because I was honestly struggling a little bit with the fact that with my profession, I'm a health and fitness coach, and I felt like I was limited to talking about that. And I don't want to be limited. And so I want this platform and this podcast to be a lot more about lifestyle, a lot more about where I'm at and how I'm getting through these things because when you're trying to become your future self, when you are trying to really up level everything in your life, you face a lot of turmoil, you face a lot of hardship, and you face a lot of limiting beliefs. And that's kind of where I want to come from with this podcast is I want to be able to talk with y'all and make you not feel so alone. Like I want this to be a spot where women who want more for their lives, whether you have a really good career or you're starting a business or you're an entrepreneur or wherever you're at in life, I want this to be a place where you go and you feel heard, you feel seen, and you feel like you're not as alone as you think you are. And I have kind of the past, honestly, two-ish years, been very alone and not lonely, but I have been alone. And I've been praying for certain things and certain people to come into my life for the past like 3 years, even before I entered a season of solitude. I've just been reflecting a lot the last few days on relationships in my life. I again mentioned this prior, but I chose to be in a season of solitude about 2 years ago. And I had to remove myself from a lot of people that I knew my future self would not want to be surrounded by. Relationships or groups of people or family or an actual place. Like I totally uprooted my life and moved to a different city because I just needed to do more. I was meant to be more and do more and be around people that were very different. I just felt this calling that I needed to get out of the place I was in. I needed to like physically uproot and move. And so I did that. And then whenever I did make that move, crap kind of hit the fan and stuff with business happened. And I had to really dive into that. And so I had not been able to create a community up here that I really wanted to. And so the last month to 2 months, I've been really focused around getting out more and being more social and really finding people that are my people. I've met some really great people and they've asked me some really good questions. And so it's made me really think a lot about friendships and a lot about community and who I want to be around and how I want to feel when I'm around these people. And so I kind of have done some reflecting on making friends as an adult. I think there comes a feeling of being ashamed and embarrassed when you don't have any friends as an adult. And making a friends as an adult is really, really hard for one. But two, whenever you have gone through a season where you have quite literally removed yourself from all of your friends for the most part, making new friends is even harder because they're like, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have friends? Hello, something's not adding up here. I just had to do again a lot of reflection, and I have found that I don't know that I've ever had any really good, fruitful friendships. In high school, in college, I have never had a lot of friendships that really help me to grow and truly support me through and through. I've always had some kind of judgment, I would say. I always ended up in friendships like that because I allowed it. And I had no standards for my friends because I'm like, it's a friendship. You should be able to be your own person, my own person. We love each other. It's cool. But whenever you're not being treated the way you want to be treated, but you keep allowing it, it's kind of a you thing. And so I've been through a couple of years now where I don't have any super close friends. I literally have two friends I can think of right now that are close friends of mine. And they don't live in this, they're not in the same city as me. So they're like long distance friendships. And I don't have like that best friend, right? I don't have that girl who's my ride or die who I've known for forever. Like I don't have that. And I knew that I needed to remove myself from these friendships that felt lukewarm, that didn't feel like they were totally wholesome and just genuine. And I knew that for me to have friendships that I want to have, which is some like friendships I cherish, and I want that to be reciprocated. Like I want people to want me around. I want to make an impact with my friends. Like I really want to be that friend who helps you to grow and helps you be better, but I also want that in return. And I think I've always operated in friendships off of how can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I be there for you? And I've never asked like, who do I want as a friend? How do I want to feel in a friendship? Because that felt selfish, but I don't think it's selfish at all. I think it's needed because I think if you are pouring into other people and they're not pouring into you, it's a little draining for one, but it's also like maybe they don't want you to pour into them. Like maybe y'all are just very different people and they're not doing that for you because maybe they don't want that in return. You know, I've just been thinking a lot, clearly. I think the one thing is that when you start changing your boundaries and what you tolerate, your friends will either support that or they will bash that. And when I have been honestly on a personal development growth journey since probably 2016. How many years is that? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 7 years. And I will say I have never made more headway than I have the last 2 years. And that's again, it's a lot to do with myself. But I think that whenever you are surrounded by people who maybe ask you or tell you, you've changed, why are you so uptight? Why can't you just take a joke? When you have that, you really kind of question a lot. And that's what I always was faced with. Why am I so uptight? Why can't I just take a joke? And it wasn't just like a little joke, right? It was consistent. I was always being made fun of, the butt of every joke. And that was just who I was. And I feel like I just took on that identity for so long of, oh, she should be blonde or she's lucky she's pretty. You know, I was always undermined. And I wanted so badly when I started college and I started doing fitness stuff. I wanted so badly to break that mold. I've tried to prove myself to everybody since college because high school I didn't make good grades. I'm not a book smart girl. I have to work very, very hard to take a test. I don't think that way. I also just tried to pass to compete in cheer because I had UIL restrictions if I obviously didn't have a good grade. But I would be on that list for a couple of times throughout the year because I had like a 40 or a 50. I was just not a good student. I had a chip on my shoulder when I entered college because I just told myself, you're going to be successful. You're going to prove everybody wrong. Everyone thinks you're going to go into college and completely fail and not get anywhere in life. And so I always chased after the status of what can I like what's the best job to have, what's the most impressive to say, like I'm going to school for this, I'm doing that. And so I always like wanted to prove people wrong. And I think that whenever you're around people who again are questioning why you're trying to grow, why are you trying to do more, why are you trying to be X, Y, and Z thing, that gets in your head a little bit. Just innately it does when you hear that every day. It's a constant thing. I know whenever I was in college, I wanted to try to be an online fitness coach. And when I first started my business, I had so much imposter syndrome. I was always told, you can never do that. You are not an influencer. And I don't want to be an influencer. It's not like the goal. The goal is to have a business and use social media to promote that business. I would always be told, oh, Code Renee. I was just wearing sunglasses and I'd be made fun of for that. It was just, there were so many things that I tried to play off, but that did get into my head and it did feel like it was a dig at me and there was some truth behind that. And I was being made fun of for their humor, but it wasn't humorous to me. And if I didn't think it was funny because I actually kind of do want to start a business. I actually do kind of want to have it be an online coach. I kind of do want those things. I was always kind of told, you can't do that. You're Renee. You can't do that. What are you talking about? When I first started my business, I had to really block everything out because no one thought I could do it. No, I didn't know I could do it, much less everyone around me didn't think that I could do it. No one thought it would actually be successful. No one thought it was actually going to be something I do for longer than a couple of months. And here I am almost 3 years later, still doing the dang thing. I feel like I always have to prove myself in friendships, in relationships, in anything I'm doing. Like I feel like I always have to prove myself because I'm always undermined. And that's a me thing. That's not true for most people. I was just excluded a lot of the time. Like if I was there, I was there. If not, I wasn't, and it didn't matter. And whether that was excluded emotionally or physically, like if I was literally just not invited because they forgot about it, or if when I was there, I felt like I wasn't even wanted there. It's just not the best feeling. And I knew whenever I left that room, I would be talked about. There would be jokes made about me. There would be judgmental things said about me. And I never knew what I did wrong. I never knew why I was that person. I was just, you know, I'm an easy target. I'm an easy target. I will say that. I don't talk crap back to you. I just take it and I will either be a little upset about it, laugh it off, or I'll be like, what the heck? And I do give them that little bit of a response that they're wanting of like, oh, it's getting to her a little bit. Let's keep doing it a little bit more. And, sometimes I don't think before I speak and I say some dumb stuff. And that's probably why as well. So I am an easy target. But I always thought it was more than that. It just felt like people just didn't really like me. I'm like, why am I even here? Why am I even invited to these places? Do they even care that I'm here? Do they even want me here? Fast forward to now, 2 months ago, I started really focusing on making a community down here, not having my life be only focused around work and really trying to build good female friendships, not petty friendships, not friendships where, again, we talk about stupid drama and just things that don't matter. Real friends, like true solid friends. And so starting these friendships I'm starting now and really focusing on building a community of like-minded people around me who I can support through and through, and I can challenge to be better and grow with. And then that's reciprocated. They want me around. They want to know more about me. They want to support me. They want me to grow. And it's not anything of like competition or trying to one up me. It's just true pureness. And talking about this is like making me tear up. I have spent the last 3 years praying for friendships like this in my life. Why am I being sappy? What the heck? It's just so cool. Like God is so good. And it's just now business is flourishing. My friendships are like I'm planting those seeds and I'm going to just I can already like tell I'm going to have the most amazing friendships and friends. And it's just the most amazing feeling ever. And this is literally still so early, but I've never felt so welcomed and so seen. And I've only known them for a few weeks. I just always thought friends needed to be around you for years to have a deep friendship. And that's how a deep connection was built. Just what I've always experienced is you kind of just see someone multiple times and it becomes a gradual thing and y'all kind of fall into it. And it's not intentional. I really pray for intentional friendships that help me to grow, that really challenge me to be better and think differently and to help me grow closer to God and like true godly friendships. And just seeing that flourish now and like actually be a reality is the most surreal thing ever. Like it is so cool. If you are in a moment of solitude right now, whether that's by choice or not, just know you will find your people. You just have to keep focusing on becoming your future self because your current self attracted the people you are currently around or had to remove yourself from. So current you needs to get clarity. You need to figure out what you actually want, what you bring to the table, how you can be better and grow and become the person these people that you're wanting to be friends with would want to be friends with back. If you're wanting to be friends with these people that are so amazing, but you are yourself not amazing yet, do that work now. Focus on building that person now. Do the hard stuff now while you are alone so that whenever those people come into your life, they want to be around you more because it does need to be mutual. You need to be an amazing person if you want to have an amazing friend. And doing the hard work now and making these shifts has helped me so much in business. Business has never felt more easy, more fulfilling, more aligned. It's just been such an amazing experience, which is a whole other podcast. That's going to be a totally different podcast. But getting super clear on what you want for your life, how you want your life to look, literally every detail, how you want to feel, how you want to look, who you want to be around, how you want to live your life, your financial status. Every little detail about your life needs to be mapped out. Envision that and then figure out, is the person you are today able to live that life. If she's not, look at where you can make changes and shifts and grow at, and make those next steps. Take action in becoming that person, because these things that you want may sound great to say out loud, but if you're not willing to show up for the person that's going to be able to not only achieve those things, but keep those things, you don't actually want it. You can have the most amazing life. You truly, truly, truly can. But you have to first show up as a person who deserves that life. Because the things that you want, if you don't have them quite yet, it's probably because you're not ready. And I'm saying this because now looking back, I don't think that I was ready for these kind of friendships. And I've done the hard work. I've still a long way to go. I'm nowhere near done. But the things that I prayed for, I'm now getting, because I'm the person that is going to be able to thrive in this new life. Getting very, very clear will allow you to figure out where your gaps are and how to fill those in. And once you start working on that, once you start developing that, your life's going to be so amazing. You're going to have everything that you ever wanted and way more, because God works all things for our good. Even if in the moment we can't see that, most times you can't, right? It's all for a purpose. There's all a larger meaning, because he sees your life as a whole. You see little glimpses and the day-to-day thing. Just know that as long as you're putting in the work, as long as you are doing what you should be doing and growing and being better and focusing on becoming your future self, the things that you want are going to either be yours, or you're going to get something way better than you ever thought was possible. You just have to put in the reps. You have to put the time in. You have to keep choosing your future self, living through your purpose, and prioritizing what's really important to you, and prioritizing that long-term vision and not what's going to feel good in the short term. I hope this podcast was helpful. I really want this podcast to be a place where women who want to thrive and grow and be more and do more and just be their most resilient version can come. And you may feel like you're way in front of this. You may feel like you're way behind. You're not even there yet. You may feel like you don't even need to make a change, right? But I just hope that this, at some level and capacity, did speak to you. And if you're right now going through this, please shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm more active on that platform, but I would love to chat more with you and just like let you know that it's okay. It is normal. And if you are in a spot where you're wanting to let go of friendships, you just don't know how, I would love to talk with you as well. It's just, you have a friend here if you ever need anything. But I hope you'll have an amazing week. I will see y'all next week, and go be freaking resilient.